Mans. The stream today is brought to you by Rusty Pot, and today I am joined in the caster booth by the one and only Inflict. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you for asking. Today's tournament is going to be really interesting because we have a few storylines going into this one as well. Because, well, one is the ongoing streak of free TC. Currently, they're on a 3-week win streak as it stands. And, well, Nurik, they have been in all of those 3 weeks in the top five, just extremely close to winning as well in a couple of them. But sadly not through the finish line yet. So I'm going to be excited to see where this one leads. Maybe the streak continues. Maybe Nurk finally get their revenge. It's going to be a long one for sure.
That is an interesting point to make. That free TC on such a big winning streak right now. Obviously, in the past couple weeks, they've shown all around that they have been the best team in these tournaments. Where I mean, one game they had so many points in that attacking phase that it gave them such a massive lead, and the others they just showed they were good at raiding. So it seems like they are good all around. But like you said, any team here today can take it, and I would like to see maybe some other teams pop up and take it from them.
Yeah, perhaps, but with that being said, we're headed straight into our attack phase, and well, it's free TC. They're leading the scoreboard, but it's only a couple of minutes in, so it's not really going to define how everything is going to pan out. Usually, the players of free TC they tend to lurk around quite a lot. And speaking of lurk around, Aaron and Mikasa, he's just running out in the wild. Finally got a weapon, I believe, to work with, but still just chilling.
Yeah, showing out in that open field, and it's like you're saying that this attack phase, you do get a little bit of a lead, but doesn't necessarily matter too much, and that kind of gets us into the points for today. Now, in the attacking phase, you can't really raid or take out anybody's base until that raid phase does actually start, but you will still earn 1 point for each of those kills there. And also, there are some crates that spawn from attack helicopters in Bradley that are worth 3 points each, along with some time crates that will be placed around the map.
Yeah, and well, there's the first helicopter that's all about to go down right there, and there you have it. It's CAC Matters is the team that has taken it down, but there are quite a few teams present close by, and oh boy, this space is not looking good. It's is that's not even partially completed.
Yep, it
And
doesn't look to be finished or upgraded here, so this team may be an early target for raiding. Obviously, these experienced players know which bases are good and which ones are kind of rough, so all the doors are open too. So it's definitely going to be a target here early on. And as soon as that raid phase does go in, 40 points for getting a TC. So any team that really targets this base could get those free points.
yeah, and I mean, there aren't many people around continuously working on upgrading it either. So Monkey or Oxpaha, they're gonna have a rather easier time in getting those first 40 points. So it's really Dice is. I'm not even sure what to speak of them at this point because it's like literally nothing. The base is just a skeleton right now, and doesn't seem like it's going to get any upgrades either.
Uh,
Oh,
Yeah, maybe something happened. I mean, like you're saying, a skeleton just waiting to be buried in the ground. But yeah, some kills being traded back and forth at this base. Some teams prioritizing that if you can kind of take over another team's base on the way, you can set it up as partial trade or something.
ooh. I think
So,
Llama is cutting out there a little bit, so I'm quickly just gonna interrupt him and take over. But as you can see, the players of Monkey they're already getting closer by here. Just outside the wall, they can easily put up a ladder and get in and possibly maneuver within the base of Dice there and get a lot of information early on. And ooh, Aaron Acosta, those are some nice shots onto Adri. So now that a player of Free TC has spotted this base, they could divert their attention onto this one as well.
yeah, players of free TC are shooting back and forth, but it looks like Joker on the side here. Maybe we know his aim is very fantastic and to be shooting there very good. And some of those walls actually being broken.
Huh?
You talked about how they aren't upgraded there, so easily broken in, and they just break into the inner compound.
And yeah, as we mentioned earlier on, they don't have any doors either, so it's going to be really easy for them to even spot up the DC at this point. They're at the rooftop. Not many players have Nice around to defend either, so it's plain and simply just free 40 points for Monk at this point.
Yeah, they just took it over. They have claimed this base as their own, and like you're saying, waiting for those 25 minutes to expire, and pretty much take those free 40 points from them. But we will see another base here on the shoreline. A lot more fighting. Again, we're seeing this attack phase, and this attack helicopter has dropped right nearby their base. So again, trying to prioritize those crates, prioritize protecting them, and getting those points.
Yeah, but there was a player of Oxpaha close by. He has been dealt with. Nobody else around as of now. So it does seem like it's going to be rather easier for them to just take over those 3 points. So it should be a good start for them right here. But speaking of starts, Wag Juice is a team that have not really heard of. Uh, wow, I was almost laughing out loud.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them either, and yeah.
Okay.
um, they're at the top of the leaderboard right now, but we'll have to see how they perform throughout the day. Don't know if it's just a team that has maybe changed their names. A lot of teams love to change their names, make them hard to say, troll us, obviously, of course.
Yeah. Oh. Kick matters. They're just taking those points home with them. Nobody there to contest exactly. So we're going to quickly move away from that. And I believe that's free TC. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. They spotted the base skeleton earlier on, so now they have a lot more players approaching this one. Still 22 minutes to go, so they can easily take this base over from Monkey and hence ensure that they are the ones that take the first raid down and get those 40 points up as soon as possible once the raid phase begins.
They want to be those ones to be there as soon as that attack phase ends. We're almost already a third of the way through, so good on them. We know they are good at getting those kills. We'll see if they, so like you're saying, can continue their streak of wins, can continue their domination of these lobbies. They've just walked in. We talked about how weak these walls are, so really anybody around can walk in and get a foothold in this base.
Well, a player of VGA Stake is already on a 15th spree, and that's 15 points for his team, while their total stands at 22. So, guy has done 2/3 the points for his team already, all on his own. That's some impressive stuff to begin with. But Free DC, they're slowly starting to fall apart, and Nurik, they're coming close by as well. It seems like they're interested in Nice's base as well. So this is going to be a massive pressure point with three such PvP aggressive teams uh, headed over towards Dice's base. They're sure to fall, but it's just going to be a matter of who gets the TC first and who holds on
Exactly.
to that base for the 20 minutes.
Yeah, just holding on those 20 minutes is going to be the important thing because I mean we pretty much saw that this base is completely open. So they I mean the TC has to be somewhat known to these players, and as soon as those 20 minutes go down, that the base is going to be immediately taken. So you need to hold down for all this time. Make sure you have some kits with you. Make sure you can hold all of it down and just make all the pushes be stopped from these enemy teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna quickly move on. We still have quite a lot of time before DCs start to get taken away. Well,
Packed packed
this
base
area
set.
seems rather peaceful.
Just two bases looking at each other pretty much.
Uh,
Two neighbors.
Not too aggressive.
But yeah, a third of this attack phase has expired here, and Jeffrey Dahmer popping off with a 10 kill streak. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
I'm
So
surprised he's here still. You know?
not arrested.
Yeah,
Back.
not dead. It's been a while since the guy was around. Oh, but
See,
it's
he came back from the dead just to play Rustoria Base
Rust.
Invaders.
Yeah, it's that good. And speaking of playing Rustoria Base Invaders, exclamation mark Discord in the Twitch chat, so you can join our Discords and play in these awesome matches every weekend taking place both for EU and NA with $100 on the prize pool. It happens every weekend, different numbers of players playing in each team. Every weekend we change things up quite often, so make sure you head in there, join us, and sometimes get roasted by us, or sometimes we simp for you if you're free TC.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a lot of fun to have with your friends, come in here, play some Rust, have that possibility of earning some money, but just raiding with your friends is a lot of fun. So you should definitely join the Discord server like you were saying. We do these every single weekend, two tournaments too. So double possibility of fun. So should get yourself in there, but we do see again this base trying to just controlled here as lots of people try and push forward in this attack phase. You just want to be a thorn in the side, try and stall the other team, stall them, make sure they can't get their full repairs up, can't get their full base up, and they're an easier target for when that attack phase does come down.
And if you're a new team, maybe you can have terrible bases like Fretch and Dice here, and give us a couple of laps at the very least. It's always worth it. But regardless, though, so Fretch, they don't have too good a base either. They don't even have compound walls up, so they the teams they just have to come in with their rockets, blow the outside walls away, and they should be good to go with a straight raid. And Fretch, they've already opened a door for someone from VGA to head straight inside. That's two players of the defensive team down already.
Yeah, that is not what you want to do. Open a door, let those invaders into your home because they're not really nice. They're going to destroy some things, your priceless doors, windows, and loot boxes. So we'll have to see how this does kind of continue because yeah, it's important to you'll have those inside of base spawns for those players, not for trying to close doors, lock them in, not being traded. That one player has just ravaged this whole team inside the base, just absolutely defending what he can.
Yeah, in other news, Gakmat is once again is the team that has taken their final shot on the attack helicopter. So that's two attack helicopters down by them. I'm not sure if they managed to secure all the points off of the last helicopter because they're still sitting at only 18 points. So if they did, they should have gotten 15 points based off of the helicopter alone. So if that is the case, their PvP doesn't seem to be shining too much, but oh my god, Steak, he's making Fretch work for their defense. It's just a one-man army going down right here. Oh god.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand. I think it's like a helicopter. It will be massive, but I mean, Steve's just massive. 8 kills just in this little peak right here. Climb up, not good for this team. They let him in, and they're paying the ultimate price. They can really get to any of these guns. He's watching this peak so hard, very well. So we'll see how much reach they have to put towards. They're gonna lose yet another. Steak is just popping off.
Uh, uh, yeah. Well, VGA Steak, they really can't do anything about him for some reason, and that they're wasting a lot of their resources on trying to take him out as well because they're eventually gonna run out of their weaponry down in the inventory, and they still can't kill him. He's just on a 10 kill spree straight up, sitting in that one corner. There's the 11th as well. It's just a slaughterhouse up in the top floor right now. But all the doors are closed, and thankfully, Steak can't really maneuver around the base a bit and explore what the base is exactly from inside. And the TC isn't exposed either, just yet at the very least. But half of the attack phase has passed by. VGA, they're looking extremely strong right now. Special thanks to Steak for this spray. There's 13. Oh my god, he's just farming. He's absolutely ruthless. Like, there's nothing that that French are able to do to take this guy out. But uh, oh, one more attempt. Never mind. Yeah, he's not even taking any damage. Guy's been sitting at 95 plus ever since this began. Comfortably just killing everyone. If this isn't farming, I'm not even sure what is at this point. Well, there's another. There's two more, and both of them go down. Oh god, this is absolutely hilarious. There's not even much to commentate about it either because he's just sitting in the single same damn corner, and French is still not able to do anything about him. Just C4 him at least. Not sure if that'll destroy their own base. I'm pretty sure it won't, but just get him out of there. Oh, another one? Never mind. Oh god. This is definitely going in the highlights. Which you can see on our YouTube channel, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's exclamation YouTube on the Twitch chat. We have our August up highlights up as well. Some of them are some hilarious moments in that as well. So make sure you go check that out while Stay continues to kill everyone from Fetch. Or maybe after he's done doing that. You can sit back and enjoy this. There's another attempt. He's seen him and never mind. Wow! Wow! Another one. 150 big machine. 50. He's 50 HP, and he's trying to go for this kill. Oh, they've both spotted each other, I believe, and of course, no res, no weapons either. AK retrieved. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. That was hilarious. I'm pretty sure he's up to like a 3-5 kill streak at this point. Well, Cowboys, their base isn't looking too impressive either, but the area that they're in, it seems rather peaceful. They do have some walls built around, which suggests that they have been involved in some sort of action earlier on, and well, they're right back at it. It's Uga they're going up against. They've already lost a player, but one player of theirs is lurking just outside the base. Never mind, it's not from Uga. It's QCYO and Linux. He's not afraid of anything. He's just ran past 2 bases and nobody shot a bullet at him. Talk about being new from the Matrix.
Like anybody shot at him. I'm finally back. Had some technical difficulties, but the action continues. I would have to say, yep, Cowboys out here in this open field in a little bit of an interesting position as they do have teams all around them. Not going to be the safest position here. So it looks like VGA has gone out to an early lead in this attacking phase with just about a third of it left. Already up to 70 points here, so a little bit of a lead here when we go into this raid phase.
I'm pretty certain half of those points came from just Steak alone. And half of his points came from Fretch alone, sitting in the same corner. I'm pretty sure he still hasn't died there, if we go back, but let's not. We still have a lot of other action to go to. But we're headed to the final 10 minutes now of the attack phase, so... And since it is 5v5, we have a lot more teams competing than what we usually see in those 7v7s or 8v8s that take place quite often. But this time, it's RNC who have sort of surrounded Synergy's base, who seem to have a gap in their wall where RNC might be able to get in, but so far they've held on. Nobody from RNC directly within the base of Synergy.
Yeah, a little bit of a crack in the armor there for Synergy, and RNC definitely could use some points there, trying to, again, be a thorn in the side, try and get early offense onto this team, see what they can do. And RNC, the hole is just a little bit too small for them to get through. And they're definitely taking shots here as RNC tries to push on in. This final patrol helicopter will be inbound. We'll see who it goes to. But yeah, VGA, like you were saying, Steak has just put on a clinic inside that building. of just massacring that team. So a lot of those points coming from him, and they're just keeping it up, keeping their lead, and they're out to a 30-point lead right now.
Oh, oh. Well, chaos. They're trying to get close by as well. Joey, he's just running around while Eclipse heals himself back up before going out wide for a fight. But Sergi, they've sort of slowed down themselves as well, not taking any too aggressive engagements either. They're letting the opposing side sort of get close in, which I'm not sure is exactly a good thing. But they don't have to push themselves out in order to penetrate through the offense at this point.
Yeah, just trying to hold that outside, hold it down as chaos. They do try and get along the outside too. RNC might connect with one of the members, and they do finally killing them out here. But yeah, synergy right now. The important thing is they're locked inside their base, so they can get those repairs off, but they really can't go out to get anything done. So RNC using those peaks to make sure they stay inside and make sure that when this attack phase does expire, like you were saying, 10 minutes left, under 10 minutes now, that this will most likely be the first place they're going to raid because they have put so many resources, because they have already people up at the outer part of the base.
Well, moving on. Mm, never mind. RNC. They're they have started to get a couple of more frags now. So MWB, I'm pretty sure he's trying to make his way into the base as well at this point. But carries BAO. He's pushed down already. He's standing right between three players, and that's going to be fatal for him as he too falls to the hands of Russian Terminator. But it was a decent effort to try and push them back again. But honestly, it seems like they're not going to stop anytime soon. In chaos, they're getting close by as well. It's only going to add problems to the current state of synergy.
For them, and they're going to have to deal with both of them as they start to push in, as this time starts to tick down even more. VGA once again extending their lead. We have to assume Steak has stayed in that building, has gotten more of those kills, and they have just been really consistent with it. And I got to remind you, I mean, 10 extra points for the leader at the end of this attack phase, so that could actually be a pretty decent lead for VGA if they're looking towards getting a TC early, along with having all of those kill points. Could be massive for them here in the tournament today.
Yeah, it absolutely can be. But we're gonna have to wait and find out how it pans out exactly because we're only 7 minutes away almost from the raid phase beginning, and since we do have so many teams and quite a few of them are pretty new to the tournament as well, uh, of course there are going to be weaker bases built around as well, such as we saw from Fretch and Dice earlier on. So those are the TCs that are going to be falling down quite early, and those are exactly the bases the Vultures, such as Free TC, Nurik, Santa, those teams exactly look for. So in the first 5 minutes, we're probably going to see a downfall of quite a lot of teams, but that's going to sort of build up how the rest of the tournament is going to pan out in the final hour as well.
Yeah, I mean, time is going to be your greatest resource here, but it slowly will tick down, and you cannot get more of it. So, will be important to see how these teams use it. And like we said, VGA is using their time to the best of their ability right now, up to 108 points over the 110 mark now. Absolutely popping off with all those kills. And like you said, it will be important because anyone can really take over this game. A TC still worth 40 points here nonetheless. So if any team does get that, could skyrocket themselves into that position. But yeah, VGA at the moment are just absolutely crushing it, doing their jobs as the five mans here today, and just trying to be the thorn again, just trying to take over other bases, trying to be prepared and get those kills as again, 5 minutes left in this attack phase, a sixth of that time. And then once that timer falls, absolute raiding going to occur across the map.
Well, Down to the final 5 minutes. The final helicopter has gone down as well, but no one except Rush has goes by with the helicopter. It should change quite soon because there are a lot of players of Convoy that are already out of their base. And Rush, he's in some desperate need of help right now. Although his own base is almost right next to the helicopter, so they can provide some overwatch to Rush and let him just collect the crates all on his own. But the defense would have, the corner would have to be very efficient. But now it's not going to look great as cute. A player of cute, for the time being, is going to start to pinch them a bit.
Yeah, this player, I mean, the walls are all they really have to protect them, and Enjoyer on the top of that hill is going to be, has just a really nice angle along with high ground there. It's going to be rough to fight back, and yeah, Rush takes a little bit of damage there, going to have to heal that back up. But like you were saying, this helicopter is important for a lot of these teams that want to earn some points and some loot. So right now, like you said, his base is right next to it, but the angles are really, really tough to deal with. I believe he's down to just 8 health, and he is knocked. So going to have to either get rezzed or reset at his base. They do have some roof peaks to help try and defend him, but man, Kebab Enjoyer, that was just a really good angle on the high ground.
Well, so far so good. They have managed to take one player out, and the player of Cute isn't making things any more easier for Cowboys either. That's two of their players fallen already, and QCYO, they're not things are not looking too great for them either. A player of theirs, Rush, exactly, tried to push the Libano, ended up dying himself, but Kamaru still had a micro angle at him. Did deal a bit of damage, just not enough to take him out exactly. Valerie are going to try and regroup, retrieve some weaponry again, and get back into the fight.
Important, and we see, like you're saying, a lot of walls here to try and help defend, but some players already trying to go for that helicopters. You see some of those crates, the fires have expired on them, so teams really rushing to try and get there. But Kebab Enjoyer is the closest to it right now, and like you were saying, there are 3 teams in the area, so running straight in the open field for those crates is definitely dangerous, but you only have to touch those crates to get the points for them, and Cowboys get a nice snipe kill there, and will hopefully be able to defend those crates and secure them because they put a lot of effort, a lot of time into it. They definitely needed another great snipe shot there from this player on Cowboys, and they have the walls on the outside right now. They are the closest to it.
Well, those crates are, I think, still up for grabs, but well, only got a minute and 20 seconds to go. They should be gone soon. But VGA currently sitting at 140 points, more than double the team that's right behind them, which is VJ. RNC currently sitting at 54. Nurik right behind them with a single point at 53. Free TC currently at 50. So VJ, they're sitting in a very comfortable spot. The rest of the teams, they're probably gonna have to take a TC and quite a lot of PvP points with them in order to match them. But
Yeah.
they're gonna have an hour and 30 minutes to work with.
Yeah, we talked about how the attack phase, I mean, you need to get an early lead off, but I didn't expect this from VGA to go absolutely massive. Like you were saying, double the next score below them, and they are going to get those extra 10 points for being on the top. You see Jeffrey Dahmer on a 15 kill streak there. Those players just absolutely popping off. I mean, we saw Steak earlier inside of that building, and the team is just working really well together to get a lot of points. And so as the day goes on, we're going to see, I mean, they have such a lead. Like you're saying, a lot of teams are going to have to try and get TCs to catch up, and that will soon happen as this attack phase is about to end.
Yeah, well, and there begins the raid phase. Visa, Kebab, French, already gone down within the span of 2 seconds of the raid phase. This is
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about. DICE should be joining them soon, considering they have like 2 or 3 teams still fighting around them, and that's Free TC, Monkey, and I believe there was one other on the rooftop. So it's only a matter of time before things start to fall apart for DICE as well.
Yeah, this base is looking a little bit weak here, and I mean, the gap has already been made here in this raiding phase as it just starts. So VGA, with that massive lead in the attack phase, will get one of those TCs off at the start, along with VJ, who will get two. So it'll be about a 50-point spread between these two teams, but the next closest team is 100 points down. So these two teams doing a really good job of staying consistent and picking a really good target. But like you're saying, this base is not looking too good. And I mean, I think we're going to see it fall here pretty soon.
Probably, but uh, we don't see anything. Don't worry about that. But that TC for VGA put them at a 200 point mark already. So 200 points just after the attack phase comes to an end is actually pretty great. VJ right behind them with 100 and almost 160. So they have sort of caught up, but the rest of the teams are not in great spots. They're gonna have to do a lot of work to match the top of the competition right now.
Yeah, like you're saying, 100-point spread between that next team, between VJ and Nurik. And, you know, Free TC also slowing down a little bit. You were talking about them defending champions, so consistent over these past couple weeks, winning so many NA and EU tournaments. It is very impressive, but today they're sitting at 4th right now. We know how good their raids are, but they're going to have to show them here today because attack points and raid points going to be needed if they want to try and catch up, because again, 100-point spread between them and VJ and about a 40-point spread between first and second. So 140 points in total that they will have to make up, and that's if the other two teams don't even do anything. So the other two teams, we've seen how aggressive they've been, we've seen how many kills they've been getting. They are not going to slow down, so you need to be the one to speed up and get some points.
Well, so far, Dice's base has managed to hold on. It's a bit of a confusing place, I guess, for most of the teams. But PTC now have made their way in. Nagata leading the charge. The rest of the team should follow soon.
Yeah, hopefully gets the rest of the team in here real quick, but that door opened up for them. They will push on in, but Monkey is here on the other side. So two teams prioritizing this base. Notice that it is a little bit weaker, and some of that boom going to be thrown out to try and find that TC. Now pushing through the inner core, and once again throwing some C4, trying to blow open these walls and see if maybe, just maybe, they could find the TC behind it. C4 going up in flames there. As Dice, there you go, eliminated by Monkey. They will find the TC, I believe, right behind that wall. So very well done from them, getting themselves up, jumping themselves into that 3rd place position, and taking out an easy target of a base that they found early on.
Well, Nurik, they seem to have found their target as well, and they're so far going pretty well. A lot of damage dealt, and the defensive team, they don't seem to have too much of an idea about how to respond to this. They did send a couple of players aggressively outside. They were dealt with as well by Nurik. So far, it's Nurik that are actually playing this one rather slow. Maybe they're waiting for more rockets to arrive, have some insights before heading into the base.
Yeah, could be just waiting for some more reinforcements, but not 100% sure. But they do have, there is a pretty massive wall, you could say, in the side of this base already. So should be able to ladder up and get in, but Allah looks like they are at least ready to defend, have some members back and ready.
Uh, I'm I'm not sure if they were they were trying to save their resources or the raiders, but they sure as hell
Yeah.
can save boats actually with that, I guess.
Yeah, they will get a flank kill there, which is pretty nice. But those spiral staircases, not the best addition to your base. I like it as a little bit of a design feature, but maybe not in practicality. As, we'll have to see how it does work out because again, there is a hole in their base. There's a hole in their compound wall. No real cover to play with here. They just have a couple peaks as Nurik continues this push. Four of those players on the outskirts looking to push through this winter forest and get on in as this again they're taking different angles, trying to put that communication together, trade some shots, and they'll take down one to start the fight. And Boomer down to just 8 health.
Well, Narek, now they're trying to surround the Strafey sort of on a flank himself. He has taken one player out, but that is going to sort of distract the rest of the teammates, at least for a little while.
Hmm.
The bed placement is already exposed, so a lot of the players they have to go out in the open from the defensive side to get back to their resources, which allows Narek to target them for at least a little while, and hence make things a lot more harder for them to properly defend and manage their positioning as well.
Yeah, once you lose those beds, it is really, really tough to defend your own base. And right now, just playing the roof, their base is tall, but it looks like the inner core is already exposed by these rockets here. And Nurik just trying to make as much progress as they can, but Allah's doing a good job of trading members. Now, Nurik should be able to get back and get that kit in time, but they're doing an okay job of defending. It just looks like their base is in a little bit of trouble right now. Because again, this wall through the outside, this wall through the inner core, it's just not the best, you know. You got that air breeze going in, but that breeze brings in rockets, and those rockets could destroy your TC or give Nurik a possibility in. But it looks like free TC is not done yet. They want to push it. They want to prioritize this base as they push on over behind Nurik.
Well, the first 10 minutes in, and we've already seen 3 or 4 teams out of the tournament. A lot more teams seem like they're on the verge of getting eliminated, but they've held on so far. While teams like Nurek, they seem to be struggling with the raids because, well, considering how experienced Nurek are in the base invader tournaments, you wouldn't just expect them to not have too much of a problem raiding the space, but it seems like they're really making Nurek work for it.
I'm making them work for it. It seems like also free TC on their backside did kind of mess up their plans. But yeah, like you said, a very experienced team here that is trying to get this base. And they did have like a hole blown through the whole thing. I would expected them to ladder up and maybe push on further. But maybe just something disrupted. And Allah, like you said, did a really good job of at least pushing them away. And they might be able to get those repairs off with free TC on their backside, right where their bed spawn is. They might end up losing that semi base outside and just have to give up that raid altogether. But yeah, a defense here coming out, repairs coming through, a successful defense there from LL as we will switch on over to yet another base that is going to be raided. Again, a lot of teams here today, a lot of teams are a target. It looks like one of them, Emperor, going to be the next one.
Well, Team Minion has already gone down. Not they're just going to be adding to the pool of the DCs destroyed within the first 10 minutes, but now we're beyond that. Now, in well, wait, do Emperor not have compound walls either? They seem to have built a rather good base, but it seems like they just didn't think outside of what to do with the base. Like, they're done with the main structure, but nothing else.
Yeah, kind of weird. And yeah, no outer compound walls. The base looks nice, but with no outer compound, I mean, all these teams can just free rocket inside your base. The trees provide a little bit of cover, but the trees are definitely not walls. And we'll have to see as Emperor is going to try and defend this base because that's all they have. But man, a hole has destroyed a third of the base already just from rockets here, absolutely demolishing it. And that is the cost of not having that outer wall.
Yeah. Mm, the the Rockets are doing their job pretty nicely, you know. Oh wait, what? Where did he come from? Well, someone's going on a parkour adventure. Rito doesn't seem to have. Oh, never mind. He has a weapon on the back, but it didn't have it out yet. But Dolobus alongside Babatoma, they can have a rather easy, comparatively easier raid on Emperor's base. But Emperor, they seem to know what they're dealing with. They are getting out aggressively. They are taking the fights necessary to keep their enemies at bay. They're winning them as well. But what was that? That was an awkward timing, but still, as long as Emperor comes out on top, it's all G.
That player jumps from the high ground, says he wants to join his friends there in the low ground, but we'll pay that price in health. We'll have to heal, and they will get that res off okay. But yeah, it was like you're saying that Emperor is doing a good job of sending some players out, trying to get some flank angles to remove some of the pressure. We're going to be hopping over to a set of bases where there's a lot of teams around, a lot of action. This Cowboys base, we saw them, I believe, earlier. Here they are in their own base trying to defend.
Uh, so far it's going nicely. QC, YO have been taken out, and they're building up some extra walls to sort of waste a few rockets that come their way from QCYO's side. But you know, for a second I was thinking if Emperor knew how physics worked. You know, two of their teammates did fall down, taking the damage for absolutely no reason, or they had or they didn't even build stairs to go up there. I'm not sure which was the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
maybe it's just a big brain play. He's trying to jump shot somebody or something like that. But
oh,
yeah,
do we have a phase
they.
montage incoming of Rust?
Mhm. But yeah, we'll definitely want to build some like stairs and other things. It could have also been destroyed. I mean, we saw a lot of that base just be absolutely wiped off the map. So it could have been their stairs that were completely wiped out. But yeah, just a roof raiding going on right now as it looks like Cowboys taking some of those rockets here as they try to defend their base. Their outer compound still looks pretty strong. So, and there's a lot of bases around here. So if you make a lot of noise or if you start going towards a raid, you could be raided yourself or, like other people could join on that raid.
Yeah, and well, Ooga getting eliminated by Santa.
Oh.
That seems. This did not seem like it was getting graded from afar. Santa just subtly made their way in and took the TC. I mean, not subtly for Uga, of course, but for the rest of them, nobody seemed to have an idea that Santa was even raiding the space.
Yeah, I mean, they just walk in and take it. Like they must have either known recognized the build or just like were smart enough to sniff it out. And that's big for Santa. We talk about the gap in points, and I mean it is slowly closing, but for Santa, that jumps them up to third place. That is absolutely massive. 100 points for them right now. They're gonna have to keep up the aggression, but that's a good start. They just walk in, say, put your hands up, put the TC on the table, and they take it from them.
Well, 15 minutes have gone by, and VJ, they're on the move right now. Oh god. That was a bit of a massacre, but finally, Nurek putting down some numbers as well. They've taken a TC to their name, putting them at the number third spot at 133 points. And talking about points, VGA and VJ, both of those teams have sort of slowed down considering how good they were looking at the start of the raid phase. VGA, they were at 200 points. Their players were doing absolutely great in the attack phase and PvP battles as well. So I'm surprised they've only gotten 6 points, 16 minutes in. VJ, they got an early TC to their name as well. They had about 70 points, I believe. So they too were struggling, but now finally they're on the move to try and raid once again. And I believe this is King's base, who do have a player trying to flank. Is JSTN, who can't seem to just walk straight. And oh no, is he? Is it thinking?
Yeah, he's been spotted and they are going to kill him real quick. But yeah, Nurk, that's great for them. You know, they get that base, they get those 40 points, and like you said, jump themselves up into third place position as those top two teams have definitely slowed down. VGA and VG both. I mean, it's now only a 20-point spread between them. That gap has definitely closed. They're going to need to keep up the pressure if they want to try and win, because you still got an hour 10 here as the time in this raid phase does start to tick down. So all these teams still have time to catch up, still have time to get points. And right now, VG looking to get some more points, breaking the inner and outer walls of this base right now as Kings just sit by watching these rockets come through.
Well, Kings, they didn't seem to have an idea about how to defend, but so far their idea hasn't exactly been paying off in the best of ways. Jeff Dahmer. Oh, well, gotta look out for those rockets coming from your own team, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad day. That ladder gets destroyed, get dropped down, and he's gonna jump up now and try and get in there. VG has retaken the roof from this enemy team. Kings, you're gonna be in trouble now as those rockets might have been unfortunate, but now are getting them inside. Some doors closed to lock the base down to not let them in any further, but some C4 will be the first thing to come out along with some boom to start to destroy these walls and doors.
Well, Kings, they are not in a great spot, to be very honest, and it's only getting worse as time goes on. VJ, they're sitting 6 points away from tying things up with VGA now. So, as I said, if they find this TC, actually, they'd overthrow VGA, and that too with a pretty good margin. You know, they'd be up with 30 points, and considering from what we're seeing so far by VGA, it's not looking too good. And did Bucker just run on a C4? Oh god.
And actually, Emperor there, we saw them getting raided and no outer wall, and Emperor will end up losing their base and losing their life here. So be falling out, and again, it was just they didn't have that outer wall that the rockets could just freely flow in here. But freely flowing in, VG is looking for more. The kills have brought them within 5 of VGA. Pragmatics is eliminated though, and also Kings is eliminated. They find the TC there. Very well done. Like you were saying, with this TC, they will retake first, but Synergy also eliminated by RNC. So many teams falling in the feed right now.
No, quickly gonna move on now. Babatoma, it seems like they have successfully defended their base, at least for the time being. No one else is close by. Yeah, Babatoma, they have chosen the place wisely as well. They don't exactly have to look out for every angle right next to their base as well. They are sort of at a higher positioning where with only 2 places exactly to approach their base as well. So it's a smart move to get your base up there, although it's not one of the most good-looking bases, but the positioning definitely is pretty big brain.
Yeah, positioning is important of your base to make sure you have that terrain advantage versus other teams. And we'll see how they do utilize it. Up here on Dome, Monkey is now shooting downwards here. So it looks like the base of Nurik. So two teams that have really popped off already here. Looking for even more. And we're approaching again an hour 10 left. Teams need to stay aggressive. And you talked about it that earlier, the attack phase points are good to get in that, but you have to keep up your consistency through this rating phase. And we're kind of seeing it from VGA that they have kind of fallen out of this first place, that they really haven't gotten any points other than that first TC in this rating phase.
Uh, Oxpaha, now, he- why are they moving towards the sea? Well,
They're just going off into the
not
sunset.
have a nice romantic evening, I suppose, with the homies.
It's good. Gotta
Nah,
get the rust set up, get a nice romantic evening.
no,
Helicopter ride over the ocean.
but not everything's romantic on this map. A lot of fighting going on other ends as well. And speaking of fighting, it's Stomat, I believe, that are currently raiding the base in front of our eyes right now. And so far, it's looking good for them as two of the defenders have fallen. But the trade seemed to be efficient as Johnny has been taken out as well. Alpse, all on his own, I believe. Actually, never mind. He does have another teammate with him to help him out. But Lolita, oh, what? He definitely missed that jump.
Yeah. This is the jump will cost him his life. And like you said, it is a bloodbath here. Nothing romantic about it. And we did see VGA in the distance there. Their player did die, but they're trying, it looks like, to continue up this aggression, but it is just not succeeding right now for them. Right now, 40 points behind VG in first. And I mean, I think the other big story right now is Free TC that they still haven't hit the 100-point marker. We talked about them pretty much all throughout the beginning of that attack phase, that they were this consistent team that has won weeks and weeks in a row. So kind of shocking to see them almost out of the top 10 here.
Well, I'm quite surprised, looked into the minimap earlier. There weren't many raids going on, except this one, which is quite surprising because it is a 5v5 event. Well, there's only still two raids going on, and with the tournament being 5v5, there are too many teams spread out across the map for there to be only two raids going on at the moment, and we still are more than an hour away from the game being concluded. So this is quite surprising. I'm not sure what Peaceful Ghost has taken over the players today, but it sure as hell is surprising to see.
It's surprising, and I think we'll see, like, once we hit that 40 to 20-minute marker, we'll see a lot more teams falling, and then we'll see a lot more teams getting desperate as they know that time is expiring, as they know they really can't do anything else but try and make a miracle raid. They're going to try and raid some more base. We'll see some more aggression coming out from them. But yeah, it's like you said, a lot of peacefulness coming out from these teams here, but not peaceful from these teams rocketing a high towering base over this forest landscape here. So it looks like Tumat is actually eliminated there by VGA. So we saw them raiding that base. Slowly but surely they get inside, and
When?
slowly but surely they reclaim their lead. Up 1 point now over VJ, and 100-point separation between the top two teams and RNC.
Well, they were on the raid earlier on, and we checked out the minimap. We checked out the map like 2 minutes ago. There was no raid going on here. So VGA, they made extremely quick work of Tomat's base right there. They just backdoored in, and they sort of knew exactly where they wanted to head to. It worked out absolutely perfectly. And in other news, Cute has been taken away by QCYO as well. So even though we didn't see too many raids going down, the ones that did have resulted in quick success as well.
Yeah, quick success for these other teams and some bloodiness happening here as this hour mark approaches. We do the helicopter landing on top. It looks like Santa has landed on top of this base, now looking to, oh wow, a lot of C4 is going to be stacked on top. Destroy those loot crates, hopefully blow a decent hole inside. Now the team is going to hear all of this ruckus, but man, it is going to blow a massive hole right through that center and will give them access to a lot of things. So it cuts off the roof right now. We'll see what they can do though. With this roof, they need to make sure they keep their players alive because that helicopter is a one-time use to get over here.
Well, Santa now putting down a lot of C4, a lot of doors to go through as well. But the defenders nowhere to be spotted yet. No immediate action going down between either side, but a couple of players have been spotted at the very least. It seems like Santa, they're straight down intending on going to the core.
Yeah, that's what it
Maybe.
seems like. Want to blow that open, give them access, but see what they have to do. They don't want to lose some members, and they've already lost one here from a trade. So that walk is going to be a while. It doesn't look like they had set up any sort of beds or res points. So a long walk back if they want to try and retake it. Fraz is still in the base here, but they lost a lot of players on this rotation, and it's going to be a rough raid for them. I mean, they did blow a nice hole through the core, but just looking through these advent calendars, it's going to take them a while if it's just one or two people.
Well, we're almost about to hit the 1 hour mark here, and VGA and VJ literally right next to each other at the top of the board with a 1 point difference only. And the team behind them, that's RNC, sitting at 157. So the difference is absolutely massive still. The gap remains at about 100 points between the top two and the teams after that. But the RNC and Nurek, or whoever the team that wants to overthrow VJ and VGA, they need to act quickly because raids often take quite a lot of time unless you manage to just find a lot of weak bases or get extremely lucky about your approach towards the TC. You're going to take at least it's going to eat up 10 to 20 minutes off your clock, so you have to move quickly if you want to catch up to them.
I mean, you have to. I mean, 100 points is a large spread to cover, but it's like you're saying, VG and VGA are both just like right there. They're both right next to each other. Either one could take it right now, but no other team is close enough to rip it from their grasp. So right now, it is going to be which team is more consistent. And we can see VJ on a raid right now, going to be pushing through this inner wall, and this base is pretty small, but it looks a little bit strong. But it looks like VJ is already in here. The ladder is going to be put up to get themselves in.
Well, so far VJ, they're looking good. Not too much trouble raiding this one. A lot of the doors are already open for them, so they're just walking through right now, exploring most of it for absolutely free. No resources invested either.
Yeah, no researchers really. They can just, like you're saying, walk through those open doors. They were left open by the homeowners here. And looking now for that TC would be very huge for them. Give themselves a 40-point lead. And SK, it looks like they want to get back in time to try and defend here. Some shots being traded, but will not lose that gunfight there. And VJ is already inside, and this base is really small with all those doors open, like you were saying. Can be really quickly cleared, and that's just what they're doing. They're getting through it already. They already have this core broken into. We'll see if they can find this fast enough to give them this 40 points.
Oh, QCYO going up against Cowboys. We saw a bit of this action earlier on, but they didn't completely invest into this battle early on like they are right now, especially Cowboys. They've done quite a lot of damage, and it doesn't seem like QCYO they have much returning fire coming either.
Yeah, doesn't look like it. The roof raid's just being traded back and forth, but Cowboys definitely getting the better of the two fights, and you can see all of those rockets just being put straight into this base, hitting all of those walls. You can see straight in it. The question will be, when do Cowboys start to push? We can see Santa is also close by, and this could just be giving an in for Santa, but HGJGGH is eliminated there by Punk. Punk a good job to try and get them some points, get themselves back in this game. But for right now, I think the big question is Santa. Will they be able to push through and take advantage of the wall that oh wow, and we swapped off of it, but VJ eliminates SK, and with that, they will actually take a pretty big 40-point lead.
Well, Chaos have fallen into the hands of Oxbaha as well. And VJ getting that TC actually puts them in a very good spot because now they've finally created a difference between them and VGA. Those two teams have been sitting right next to each other for about 30 minutes now. And that TC was exactly what VJ needed to sort of uh, cement their lead onto the scoreboard now. But still, we have about an hour to go. Anyone can take over, but it seems like that half of the teams have already been taken away, so you really have to start picking your fights and converting those fights into some good amount of points as well, because you're not going to have many targets to work with uh, about half an hour later.
Yeah, only about 12 teams left alive here, and it's like you're saying, that raid is massive there from VJ, and they're gonna have to do something. We were talking about it was a little bit slower, more practiced and patient game earlier, but looks like now everyone has chosen blood, has chosen chaos, and Cowboys now trying to take advantage of that hole they put in the base. They're gonna be walking up, trying to find an entrance into this outer compound wall, and just blowing some rockets in to try and maybe get inside. It's also Santa, so two-team raid here on both sides. Rough for the team inside. If they do collide, it will kind of help them out as those teams will have to fight each other, and it will stall and maybe give some times for repairs.
Oh, yeah. Um. Okay, we need to teach people how physics works around here. They can't just be jumping down, or maybe they need to learn how to make the spiral stairs that we saw earlier, just not outside their base. Either of those works.
So you gotta teach people physics, but spiral
Yeah.
staircases work, but not not outside your
Not
base.
outside, yeah. You have to like have them in the base. But we're gonna discuss them with the teams later. We have to.
Obviously,
It's too
gotta have
much.
the one-on-one, gotta have a sit down, but
Yeah.
yeah, don't want to have those spiral staircases on the outside. We'll give easy access, but here easy access with this with this helicopter. It's not easy access.
Not anymore.
VGA does eliminate a team here, and with that, they're actually gonna pretty much tie up the scoreboard once again, down to 11 teams here. So going really crazy already for a lot of these teams. I mean, it is just absolutely insane for them. They just popping off, and like you said, the targets are going to start to run out as time goes on here in the tournament. Under an hour left already. Targets are going to be few and far between. That you're going to have to pick your targets very carefully. PvP points are going to be important, but for right now, VJ and VGA, both of these two teams working so hard right now, holding down their first and second place spots, but it is a close race between them, but nobody else is really close to them.
Well, Snatch goes on a sort of a flank, takes Mara out. No immediate trades with Babatoma. They seem to know exactly what they're doing with their defenses. We saw them. We did see not exactly how they were getting raided earlier on, but we did witness them getting those defense points earlier on. So the defense is definitely pretty good. Their base isn't looking too impressive, but it's sufficient. It's doing the job it's supposed to do, at least for the time being. And the players themselves, they're doing a magnificent job of their base not getting destroyed, at least for the time being. But Free TC, they're here, and their presence always means trouble. They are one of the most experienced teams that we have, pretty much playing every weekend in our in base invader tournaments. So having them around is definitely bad news.
Yeah, not the best news to have around, and like you were saying, a very consistent and experienced team, and they're gonna be raiding this base for sure. They do need to catch up. I mean, they're about 200 points behind VGA right now, so a long catch up for them to have, but it's still possible. We've seen them do it before, where they've dropped a lot of points, gotten some backdoor TCs, but targets are starting to run out as the Scrappy just gonna be crashing down the hill.
Okay.
Another lesson for the physics strongboard.
Yeah. I'm not. Can you ensure how old these people are who are playing? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say anything that might harm people, but speaking of harm, for TC, they've already done quite a lot of damage onto Bawatoma's base. Now the C4's up close. We're gonna allow them some entry points as well. Galek, he's
Yeah,
he's
that
being
wall.
welcomed by another wall, so I'm gonna back off of that one.
Just walls after walls. A little bit suspicious. Could we have the TC behind it? But yeah, free TC, they're looking. I mean, the backside, though, their partial base is going to be raided here as they will have another team walking in. And again, with so little targets left in this tournament, a lot of teams, when they hear a fight or when they see a fight, they are going to walk towards it. So we see two other teams, Dolby and it looks like LLL, are both going to be pushing in on opposite sides here. As again, the noise made by Free TC was enough to attract these two teams.
Well, almost 50 minutes to go, and we're just down to 14 teams now. VGA and VJ, both of these teams have been sitting neck and neck ever since the raid phase has begun.
Mhm.
So, usually what happens is we have one team that's dominating the scoreboard completely, and they sort of get a target on their back, and some of the teams that are contending for the number one spot right after them seems to just attack their base collectively to take them out. But now that the scoreboard is divided among VGA and VJ, it's going to be a lot more interesting because we might just see the rest of the teams gamble about how they're gonna approach this. Either they just go on with their usual routine of raiding any base that they possibly can, or um, or they just take a gamble on trying to raid one team and hope that it's not the other one that actually managed to stay afloat as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's so close that it isn't that scenario where there's that large gap, that large target on their back. Maybe for other teams that are trying to get themselves a win here, they may have to eliminate both VG and VGA to try and get themselves a win. But yeah, like you're talking about, 14 teams left alive. Targets are starting to fall out of the competition. And as that happens, I mean, you're just going to get less and less points available. So the targeting will be important. We talked about after 20 minutes left about, it gets to that point where, you get into that mindset where like, we have to do something. Either we do something or we lose. So But VJ right now, it looks like Jeffrey Dahmer going to be on the outskirts of this wall and looking to once again pull off a successful raid as they took a little bit of a lead, about 10 points. But yeah, it's still that super close battle between them and VGA.
Well, I'm quickly gonna move on, and well, never mind. But Babatoma, they were getting raided by quite a lot of teams early on, but it seems like they've somehow managed to hold on. Although Oxmaha is already inside, but they can't seem to have made much progress. Now the wall that was cleared out by Free TC earlier found another one, and there's another one that follows right after, but there's a gap that they can jump through. It leads directly to the roof, so not the best place, but it's only a generator that has been spotted. So far, even though Wawatoma's base wasn't looking the strongest among what we've seen so far, it's definitely keeping people that are raiding them confused and sort of questioning what exactly is Babatoma trying to achieve here.
Yeah, I would be confused looking at this base too. So these teams just trying to find a way inside right now, and they have so many teams around. I mean, we talked about you make a noise that all these other teams start to flock towards it. We can see so many teams around. I mean, we see Free TC now approaching once again, trying to retake some space. We see Dolbus out on the outskirts. We also see other teams trying to push on in, but a nice little peek from Babatoma here as they continue to try and defend this base for whatever they can, because there are so many teams around. You just got to hold down and see what they can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm quite surprised that Free DC isn't even in the top 5 right now. They tend to be the ones that usually, sometimes even sit on like a 200 point lead. We have seen that from them like a couple of times in the past month or so as well. Uh, they once got beyond 500 or 600 points as well, I believe, or they were at least very close to that. I'm not exactly sure what the score was, but they were just so far ahead of from everyone else in the competition that it felt like the game had ended like 30 minutes before the game actually did. It was only a matter of if someone can eliminate them or not, and they managed to survive till the end. So for me, Free DC currently sitting at 131 points only is a massive surprise.
It's a surprise. I mean, it's also, there is that some sort of random nature of Rust that, some weeks can't be yours, and it does happen to experienced teams. But yeah, we put such a high, bar for them because they have won so many, because they have been so consistent. So it is kind of surprising to see them a little bit lower on the leaderboard here. But yeah, I mean, leaderboard right now, VJ, they are extending their lead. That's the most important thing, is they just aren't going for TCs. They're getting kill points here too, and almost back to a 20-point lead over VGA.
Yeah, it's almost a 20-point lead, but that can change in a matter of a minute as well if the players decide to show up. We saw a player from VJ, I believe it was Steak, who went on an absolute spree against Fretch early on with almost 20 kills all by himself. So if players pop off like that, they can do wonders, but they have a lot of time to make wonders happen. Right now, they can just play comfortably, continue with their game, because the competition behind them is quite far. Oxpaw are currently sitting at 210, RNC at 184, so they're nowhere close to catching up to VGA or VJ.
They are just a while away. You got to play your game, and as time goes on, more and more of those bases are going to be out and not available to be raided here. So yeah, approaching the halfway marker now for our raiding phase. Already had our attack phase. You're just joining us, VJ, out to a lead right now. VGA and them have been racing all day long, try and keep up to who is in first. And right now, it seems like almost the whole lobby is here trying to raid Babatoma's base. Unfortunate for them, because I mean, they can only defend so much. It seems just like every single team is here. Every single team wants a piece of it. Every single team can hear that voice.
Yeah. And well, 45 minutes to go before the game comes to a conclusion, and VJ, it seems like they're starting to pick up the pace here in terms of gaining those points. 329, while VGA surprisingly still sitting at a 300, 302. It seems like they're like just sitting in their own base right now doing absolutely nothing, because I don't see any increments in their points at all, and it's been like that for quite a while. So they need to start moving around and getting those points, making progress as well, because otherwise VJ, they're not stopping, and they can definitely build up a lead by themselves as well.
They need to get going. They need to get some points on the board. It's like you were saying that they kind of have slowed down here. That VJ has really put forward a lot of points, almost getting themselves to a 30-point lead. And maybe VGA is just stuck on a defense or stuck trying to play safe. They don't want to go out and risk their base. But right now they are risking losing that first place spot. So they need to go out and do something. As I mean, this base is just absolutely getting torn apart. With how many teams are here, just hard to defend all of them. RNC maybe the closest to the core here. They are going to lose some players here on the outside, but they do have a couple on the inside still that could possibly find this TC. But yeah, again, there's so many teams here on the outskirts of this base.
Well, they're definitely RNC is starting to make a good amount of progress here, but Babatoma have held on for quite a long while. Uh, I'm starting to wonder if the teams are starting to get like tired of trying to hit Babatoma at this point, because it's like 3 or 4 teams attacking them at the same time, and yet there's barely any progress in terms of infiltrating the base.
Right. Now, the defense is pretty good from them so far. Like you said, their base is confusing and hard to kind of break through. And I mean, you can just see how many players are here, how many teams have tried to put resources to it. And yeah, that is the question at the end of the day. Are you spending too much time, too much resources for a base that could possibly be stolen right out of your grasps by one of these other teams? So, I mean, you got to hurry up and take it. You got to get this base through so you can get to other places. Because once again, the gap between second and third is still 100 points.
Well, the Rockets certainly are doing the job that a lot of players couldn't. But RNC, they're up to the task. A lot of damage dealt already, but the walls, they just keep on popping up one after the other. And most of them are leading them back to the rooftop again.
Yeah.
3TC once again close.
GC's everywhere. It seems like they're not getting as many points today, but they seem to be a lot of different places. So we'll have to see what they do decide to do. Because again, I mean, this base is being torn up, but you don't want to get it stolen from you. But Free TC wants to be just one of those teams that takes all the work from all those other teams, takes it, gift wraps it for themselves, and takes that TC. But now they're looking to maybe go to the roof. Ooh, a nice little angle, but he's going to get jumped on. And Babatoma, I mean, this defense, they are doing what they can. I mean, their base is being raided by 3, 4, 5 teams at once. And they are just finding kills, finding short bursts of defense, and just a way to defend their base. Although there may be a bunch of teams here, they're doing the best they can.
Ooh. Well, 3TC's base seems to have been cleared out, except Aaron and Mikasa, who's just managed to get a weapon in time to save Nikita as she comes back to life. And that seems to be the only raid going on, I believe, across the map, and we still have about 12 or 13 teams alive. Most of them standing peacefully, surprisingly.
Hmm. Now approaching 40 minutes left alive here, left in
Is
this
this a back?
raiding phase.
Is this a backdoor raid?
I think it is, yeah. Nurk smartly. While everyone else is away, they are looking to get some raids off. And free TC, I mean, you can see that. They instantly are coming back here, trying to defend this base raid here, as one is going to jump over the wall, immediately get fried here. So it's just going to be down to Strafey. Try and take these couple members out. The backdoor raid looking mostly unsuccessful, but the res may come through. Hopefully they can get these two players back up, get the reset, and just putting pressure on these other teams slows them down. So once again, free TC not going to be able to, push towards it. And Abatoma finally, after a long and arduous defense period, will be eliminated by RNC.
Yeah. The moment that we leave that one, but we saw free DC as soon as they realized that Nurek was trying to backdoor them, they only sent 3 players away. This is exactly the type of experience that I was talking about. Free DC, they've played so much that they recognize that they can continue the raid while keeping at least a couple of players invested. Sending 3 players back while keeping a couple of players invested onto their raids as well. And oh my goodness, can people stop falling for once?
Yeah, not the best. Might want to get some guard walls up there and learn the things of physics. Not jump off your roof taking all that damage. But
I'm
RNC actually, while they were busy, while they were raiding, L will get a backdoor raid on them, taking them out.
Well, teams are finally starting to get back to their aggressive stance now, as Oxmaha seem to be the one that are raiding this time. I believe they are. Yes, the C4 is being put down, and they're trying to backdoor someone as well. Not exactly sure who it is. I don't never mind. It seems like it's Team L. They're back.
Backdoors all across the board here, as teams do try and keep up that aggressive nature, like you were saying. Running out of targets, though, that's the most important thing. That as time goes on here, these teams are not going to have a lot of places to raid, and those top teams. Oh
Huh?
wow, you find it backdoor. Backdoor RNC, and will
Where
pay the
exa-
ultimate price and will be eliminated.
Where exactly was that? So, okay. Well, regardless, it seems like the backdoor raids is really getting converted nicely this time around. We've seen like 2 or 3 in the past 10 minutes already. So that has reduced the number of teams remaining in this tournament already by massively. I believe we have only 10 or 12 more to go, I'm assuming. But regardless of that, VGA, last week I mentioned them, it was about 15 minutes ago, and they were sitting at 302 points. Now they're up to 307. They are doing almost nothing, it seems like, so far. I haven't seen a single one of their players walking around either, I believe, as well. Oxpaha, on the other hand, they're starting to play catch up and they're starting to play it really nicely. Currently sitting at 260 points, just about 50 behind VGA and 80 from VJ.
Point spread, like you were saying, VGA not doing a lot to try and catch up, as VJ just holding down that first place position right now. Time is going to expire, 11 teams left. The targets are starting to slim out. And I mean, I think a lot of people were slowing down with that Babatoma raid, but other than that, I mean, the aggressive nature coming through, double backdoor raids from two different teams, LLL backdooring RNC and then getting backdoored themselves. But now it looks like Monkey is going to be pushing forward. Will get killed out there. And again, the aggressive nature, the team's trying to catch up because there still is that gap in points between those top teams. So like you're saying, VGA has slowed down, and this third place team has jumped back up to try and give themselves a chance to catch up.
Well, VGA now finally on the move again. And Santa's base, it doesn't look too massive, so somewhat of an easier opponent that has been picked by VGA. They seem to be doing extremely nicely at the beginning of the raid phase, but we're gonna have to wait and see if they're still in their groove, if they're still feeling it. So far, the Rockets doing the job. A couple of walls already gone down, and the players of Santa continue to fall as well as they try to push out. Now, it's trying to come back alive. Rocket got messed up there, but very not. They have a lot more. They're taking their sweet time with this one, though. They're doing as much damage as they possibly can before hitting the compound wall and going in. I believe that they intend going in all at once and be just done with it as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah, just rocket raiding. I mean, that's pretty much what they're trying to do. Just trying to get some of that base down. As they destroy that side wall, Santa again, they're trying to defend. Not with the boat base here that we have seen them use in the past, but right now, just sitting on the roof, just trying to hold down from VGA. And this would be huge. I mean, we talked about how they have slowed down on the points. They need this raid. They need these 40 points to catch back up because the gap has spread between them in first place.
Yeah, it absolutely have, but now the time crunch is sort of trying to is eventually going to hit them as well with only 33 minutes on the clock. About half an hour left to go, but is not only one player of Cowboy. Yes, it is, and he's in a world of misery, getting shot from 3 players, but still manages to get out alive. So VJ eventually gonna let him be and move on to wherever they wanted to go.
Wanna let him go on romantic journey, flying out in the sky as that one player will escape. But yeah, target's gonna start to slim here as we approach 1/3 of the raiding phase left, 1/4 of the total time left. Time again is the one resource you cannot go farm for more of, so that is going to be important for these teams as time starts to close. It looks like Oxpaha though has made a really nice comeback. I mean, they aren't in first just yet, but the amount of points they have made up to get themselves into third, to continue their streak, has given them a chance as we get down to these final 30 minutes.
Well, Cowboys. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I did say that VJ wanted to make quick work of it, but it didn't. I didn't think they'd do it in just 2 minutes. But VJ, they're getting close by as well, so it's nice that VJ are already done with it, and that actually puts them on the lead now with 22 points exactly. So, they're right back into this competition now. They have been dead for a while, but the resurrection was extremely strong. Now, Nurik, VJ, and probably VGA as well are gonna want to hit Cowboys bases. It's the closest one to Santa.
Yeah,
And it's
they
already
wanna
getting
hit
attacked
those
from one side.
It's getting attacked from one side. That noise being made, attracting other teams, and I mean, it's like you're saying, VGA was slowing down so much, and that raid is huge. That raid puts them back into first, puts them 20 points ahead here. And with 30 minutes left, that's good. They need to keep raiding, though. We're talking about 10 teams left alive, most likely. Now, as these teams again start to fall, more and more raids are lesser going to be available. So for these teams, so Cowboys are going to be the target here as VJ are looking to once again regain their first place. They fell down by 20 points. The question will be, how hard can they push to regain it? How many kills can they get? We saw them. We know they can do it. We'll see how fast this raid can take for them. But Cowboys have other opinions. Cowboys want to open these doors up, try and get a nice flank angle. But they just say, we'll destroy your gate if you open that up.
Well, we're exactly 30 minutes away now from the end game. So this is the moment where you're gonna have to really start to pace things, pick up the pace here, and get as many points as you can. Because the final 10 minutes, they seem to be a bit not. They usually seem a bit demotivating. You know, most of your points come from baby points. You usually the raids don't work out in that time frame either. So the next 20 minutes is going to be the key moment to get the lead. And oh my god, the rocket damage is absolutely massive. The bed's exposed as well, and if they go down, Cowboys, the respawn time is going to go up a significant amount, only making things worse for them, considering they're already getting raided from at least two teams already.
Yeah, you do not want to lose those beds, especially, but it's a great point that you made. These next 20 minutes are very important for these teams, especially VGA and VG, as both of these try and push in. Both of them try and get more points here because, again, 20 minutes and then you have that final 10 minutes, and usually, again, it's just down to garbage time. It's usually just that time that never really amounts to anything, but this one is shaping up to be a horse race between these top three teams. But again, VGA out to a little bit of a lead. You need to regain it. You need to do something. And a great point for you. These next 20 minutes for these teams have to be utilized to perfection.
Well, Cowboys, they literally have an angle going through their whole base right now. This is not good for them at all. VJ, they're not in direct contact with the base just yet. They're fighting from afar, doing as much rocket damage as they possibly can. But QC, while they're taking advantage of that situation, they're already in. They're taking the players out of Cowboys as well, allowing them to explore as much base as they possibly can before VJ heads into it.
Yeah, a lot of players around, but I believe the realtor described this house now as breezy on the listing because of how big the hole is through it. And I mean, two teams just on both sides. It's hard to defend. Cowboys doing what they can, but yeah, this raid is going through very quickly as these teams expend a lot of resources to try and get in. Two massive holes blown in on both sides. Those beds are still exposed. Cowboys, I mean, just putting on their hats and really trying to hold down and defend.
Well, for TC now diverting their attention onto Monka, and Oxpaha right behind them, sort of putting some damage onto Monka's base as well. And now they have players getting up close. So Monka now, the team that usually were the troublemaker earlier on in the game, facing the other side of the table. With Free TC already within the base, Aaron and Mikasa leading the charge. He has gotten one kill, but Oxpaha through the compound walls, they're heading in as well.
Yeah, exactly. With so little amount of teams here, again, everyone just kind of dogpiling onto each other. Monkey, they are going to have to get this defense off. Free TC, along with Ox Baja, like you were saying, both of these teams are in it to try and take this. And the important thing is definitely for Ox Baja. They need to push forward and get some TCs because they are one of the teams that are actually still in it. VG and VGA, sorry, VJ and VGA, both they're within distance that if you get two TCs, you could possibly win the game here. So Ox Baja, this raid is going to be massive for them. They are now pushing through those half walls, trying to get in, trying to find an entrance, some C4, maybe blow open some of these doors, some of these walls. They're going to try and finish it quick because they need to.
They absolutely need to. Indeed, and Monka, they're in a terrible spot right now because Nurik, they're making their way towards the space as well, only going to add to their troubles now. And we're basically in the end game of this tournament now. So this is this is going to pan out. Yeah.
These raids are they have to be quick. They have to be good because you are, like you said, all the other teams are trying to piggyback off of it. All these other teams are trying to find an entrance here. You do not want to use a bunch of your resources just to get a base stolen from you, especially if you're Ox Baja here. You need to get this raid cleaned up very quickly, because if you don't, someone could take it. And if you waste too many resources and don't get some back, I mean, you're not going to have enough for another raid, which they obviously need to get 2 successful raids off here in these 25 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, considering that VGA have actually started to constantly put up points once again now that they're sitting at 376, maybe you start to think that if you're VGA, that we need to just straight up raid VGA. And considering the amount of time that we have left on the clock, this would be your prime moment to do so. You know, you potentially have those 40 points to take home as well if you get the TC, and you manage to eliminate your biggest opponent on the scoreboard at the same time simultaneously. So I guess at this point that should straight up just be your strategy if you're VJ, and it should be, you should be able to convert it, because it's going to basically be a do or die scenario that way.
Yeah, a do or die is definitely the truth for this team, and it's an interesting strategy. You know, they could just go off and raid another base, or like you're saying, they could eliminate their competition if either VGA or VGA or VJ do get eliminated here. Then the other one would most likely win, unless Oxpaha can do a good raid here, can get on in and take this. I mean, it's again up to these top two teams to see what they do. And it could come down again if you take out your opponent, if you take out that #1 team along with getting those extra 40 points, it could be absolutely massive. But the same could be said for VGA. I mean, they could go towards VJ and, you know, raid their base, take them out, and be 120 points ahead of the competition. So it will be interesting, but you just don't want to be caught out. You want to make sure you have your base defended and ready, because all these teams are going to start looking to you as time starts to tick down even more.
Well, moving on. VGA already moving on to their next raid. This time around, their target is Punk. A decent amount of damage already dealt through the compound walls. What?
Wow.
What? They just took the second door, the second wall down, and no, wait, the DC was the DC there? No, where exactly did they get the? Were they at the roof? I think there was someone at the roof.
Yeah,
But
I'm just speechless. I mean, they go in and take them out, and all of a sudden, I mean, that gap has widened. Now 70 points for VGA. A fantastic raid from them to give themselves a lead here late into this raiding phase. And I mean, for VJ, I mean, that hurts. You now pretty much have to target them. Like you were saying, you need to take them out. They are your only competition right now. And if you do so, you could take a win, but it is do or die for these other teams. And VGA, you're sitting comfortably right now. All you have to do is really sit back, hold your base, and make sure no one jumps you in points.
yeah, exactly, because there's no way in hell that VJ managed to win two raids in just 21 minutes. I mean, they definitely can do it, considering we just saw VGA get done with the raid within a span of 30 seconds. So they definitely, VJ can definitely do it, but it's not going to be their best bet. They'd have to get extremely lucky, or just third party another ongoing raid and be very precise at it as well. So at this point, you need to target VGA. It's just a must-win scenario for you.
Yeah, just you have to push forward. You have to get it. I mean, 20 minutes left in this raiding phase. What we talked about. I mean, you have about 15 minutes to do what you can, but I mean, it is do or die. VJ, they've done good all day, but it is all about finishing here. This marathon, you have to keep that energy up and keep on going to try and raid. But it looks like actually they may be trying to raid someone else still. I mean, they still may be focused on a different raid, and it could be good to get them some points, get them some kills and stuff. But like you said, there is no way they catch up 80 points just on kills and 1 TC.
Well, 20 minutes to go. VGA still, as we've mentioned so far, in a very comfortable spot. Oxford has sort of have caught up with VJ. The difference is still pretty good, but it's nothing that they can't minimize in the course of the next 20 minutes. Now, these 20 minutes are going to be extremely chaotic for the teams that are going to be defending and attacking as well, because most of the raids at this point are going to include multiple parties involved, considering how many teams you exactly have left fighting at this point. You barely have any, and most of the raids going on are only taking place at like 2 or 3 bases.
Yeah. Each raid having a lot of those teams, and you're going to have to defend from multiple fronts there to just try and hold your base. So it is really rough on both sides. It is also rough though from those teams that are attacking. You know, we've seen that before, that when a team walks up onto your flank, it just eliminates all of your beds. I mean, it's not good. I mean, you immediately lose all of your cover, all of your resources. And if you're inside a base, if you're fighting inside a base and there's multiple teams, it just helps that team that is their home base, because it is helping disrupt the flow, helping give them time to repair, helping, get kills on members of the enemy teams. And it is going to be hectic, like you're saying. Multiple teams, as soon as they hear a sound, going to push in. But pushing in is what Free TC does best. Looking here to regain some points, maybe get a moral victory here at the end of the tournament. And just going to be destroying some of these doors into this core to try and see if they can get anything.
Well, at this point, Free TC, they'd be happy with pretty much anything, considering they're basically out of the tournament now. Out of not exactly out of the tournament, but not in contention for the first spot, basically. Unless a miracle happens and everyone above them gets disconnected or just loses their TC somehow. But with about 18 minutes to go, they need a lot more than a miracle at this point as well. But oh, the door opened up, they got a kill, but just before the player fell, he managed to close the door. So Free TC not in the primest of spots, but Cowboys in the other hand have been taken out by QCYO, putting them at 270 points. Not exactly close by to Oxmaha, but still a rather good spot.
I mean, a decent raid that took a while for all of those teams, but yeah, Cowboys will eventually fall there. Had a pretty good defense, but again, with all those teams piling on, super hard to defend. But yeah, QCYO most likely won't be able to regain enough ground, but that's a good moral victory. That's some good practice. Still getting fourth right now, not the worst position, like you were saying, to be in. Still putting down a decent amount of points, but they'd have to have, again, probably a miracle to happen for them to get one of those first or second spots. And VGA, they're just not letting it happen. I mean, still 50 points ahead here, still chugging along, and no one seems to be rating them. So as of right now, I mean, if they can hold for 15 minutes, they win.
Yeah. I mean, that's all VGA need to do to win. Right? They just need to sit back, relax, stay alive, which seems like a rather easy job, because VJ, they're not we saw earlier they were involved in another raid, so they're not directly headed towards VGA either. Nobody else, I believe, would be interested in trying to attack them, unless maybe Oxpaha does it, but Oxmaha was already fighting somewhere else as well, so they... Oh, yeah, so Oxmaha is right in front of our eyes, so Oxmaha aren't pushing VGA either. VGA, they seem to be in a spot where it seems like everyone's pretty much settled for them. So they just need to sit back and hold tight, let everyone else fight out, and have a snack, grab some popcorn, and watch the match with us.
Yeah. Sit back, hold what they can, get some romantic time with the homies, if they can. But yeah, they're 50 points ahead. So right now it is a matter of defending themselves. If VJ does get another TC, it could be a little bit dangerous, but as of right now, they just need to defend. The safest play for them is to, if they go out, there's a chance that they get backdoored, not get back in time, and lose all of their base and lose their chance to win the tournament. So I think right now, they just need to relax, like you're saying. Sit back, chillax, defend and watch your base, because that is the most important thing right now. For 15 minutes, you just need to sit back and watch.
Well, 3TC once again getting raided. This time around, again it's Nurik, but they have Dol Bobus with them. So 3DC now amongst two different teams who intend on raiding them. The compound wall has been taken down as well. They deal with one player, but they still have a lot more coming towards their way. And one thing is that we mentioned right at the start of the tournament was that Nurik and FTC, both of these teams are usually the Titans sitting in the top 5. Right now, both of them, Nurik is in the 5th spot and FTC is just away from them with 1 point, but they are far down from even the top 3 at this point. So it's, mentioned it earlier, sometimes it's just sort of the luck factor as well involved with Rust, and you're not feeling yourself on the day. So that's exactly probably what's happening with Free TC and Nurik, because sometimes even having the most experience doesn't work out in your favor, and this is a prime example of that.
Yeah, sometimes the cards just do not go your way. Sometimes, you just don't get the raids you want to. Sometimes they get stolen. So I think it is good to note that they are still alive. That they've done a good job of defending their base, taking good targets, and staying alive. But yeah, it's like you're saying, maybe just not their day. Maybe they will be back for NA, and we could see them play there again. But yeah, not really a chance for them to come back, and still alive though. Like you're saying, 5th place and 6th place respectively, still living their lives out here. But yeah, VGA still living. That's the most important team right now. They have been the most consistent here today, up about 40 points, and looks like VGA has
Huh?
taken a page out, it looks like, and they're looking to raid VJ. They're saying we don't want any chance that a team decides to come back and raid us, so we will take the preemptive strike and raid you first.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a wise choice. Except the minor risk of getting backdoored. Other than that, it's pretty impressive that they're going for this one. They seem to be doing a great job earlier on. Some structural damage being dealt as well. 2 players of VJ already taken out as well, and they still are not dropping down. But they have a couple of players that approach from a different route. One of them falls. Stakes still alive though. Just looking to get the trade. He spotted Aaron Mikasa. Oh! Caught with the C4 in his hand, sadly.
Unfortunate. Yeah. Caught with the C4 in his hands, caught with his pants down. But I actually really like this play. Like you were saying, it is a risk. You do have the risk in the back of your mind that you could possibly get backdoored here. But for VGA, I love this. You can keep track of the VJ players where they are, and if you take them out, you basically guarantee yourselves that victory. So I do like this play. Like you said, minor chance that they do get backdoored. But VGA, this raid is already really clean. They have taken high ground positioning. They have taken so much space away from VJ here. The question will be, can they finish them? They have 10 minutes to try and do so, trying to hop up. And VGA just doing a good job right now.
Good job so far. They haven't gone too deep within the base yet, at the very least. Yeah. It absolutely is mental, but now the rocket damage from above, although it's not done too much there, but I'm not even sure what VGA exactly is waiting for. Maybe they want to have some players of VJ pop up first and kill them, have that respawn time going in their favor while they get to explore a bit. But there you go. A one-on-one trade goes down. Another player of VJ fallen as well. Then this is the window that VGA were probably hoping to get before dropping down and going in deeper. And there you have it. The C4s dealing a good amount of damage, breaking floors away for them to dig deeper.
C4's being broken here, and that is, like you said, the moment they need to start pushing those trades going in their favor. And with 10 minutes left, man, VGA, they are trying to make moves. VGA, though, shooting back, getting so many kills here. The C4, look at that stack, is going to absolutely blow a hole here all the way down. You can see it blowing floor after floor after floor. VGA, they are looking for the finish. They are looking to kick their opponents while they are down and claim their spot upon the throne of EU for today. Kills go the way of VGA there. Absolutely slaying as they these rockets and C4 are demolishing this base right now. And with 9 minutes left, we are getting into danger time again, running out of it. VJ, if they get eliminated here, it pretty much would be VGA's tournament to lose. And I mean, if they don't get backdoored, pretty much could be a free game for them. So that's what they're trying to do right now. C4s will start to blow open this inner core wall as they look for this TC here.
Well, this seems to be it. VJ, they're already in too deep a trouble to overthrow VGA, as they're the ones that are putting VG in the situation. Oxpaha, they were already up against Monkey in a raid, so they can't do much either. Not enough to take VGA out at the very least. So these final 8 minutes, they're just some extra playground minutes. Because other than that, this one seems pretty much done and dusted.
It pretty much seems like it is over. VGA just have control over VG's base right now, controlling all of the insides, the outsides of it. So, I mean, like you're saying, unless Oxpaha can make a really fantastic raid on VGA, a backdoor, it's pretty much over. And that would be really the only thing. If VGA eliminate VG, and then, you know, Baja finds a way to eliminate VGA, could possibly be there. But like you're saying, yeah, 7 minutes is not a lot of time for raid. I mean, we're seeing how long it's taken VGA already for this raid. So it's pretty much, I mean, in their hands. It's pretty much in VGA's hands what they decide to do with this time. And there you go. The TC for VJ is there. VGA eliminating their competition and most likely cementing their spot as first place.
Yeah, VGA, they really were wise to go out and raid the team that threatened them the most. And as soon as they're done with it, now they can definitely just kick back, because now they have secured 40 more points. The only problem they're gonna have is someone trying to raid them, but Oxpaha are busy defending their own base from Dol Bobus. The rest of the teams, they get absolutely nothing by taking VGA out, and people continue to fall on our screens as they have for the course of this game. And at this point, I'm not even going to complain about it.
Yeah, it's just maybe it's a new like trend, you know, just jumping off of things in Rust.
Maybe we've grown too old for it. Maybe physics isn't cool anymore.
But yeah, VGA just did a great job. Like you were saying, it was a great job out of their playbook to take down VG. Just walk over towards them, make sure they take them out, and like you're saying, Oxpaha kind of busy with a defense, and now it's just up to VGA. If they defend for 6 minutes, they have most likely secured their spot as first place.
I pretty much do not see anything whatsoever that threatens them. And with the final 5 minutes in the play now, VGA sitting with 120 points of lead, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that the game is pretty much done and dusted, because I couldn't see any raids going on the map either. So everyone is probably just chilling at this point, or making failed attempts of raiding.
failed attempts is pretty much all it is. But yeah, like you were saying, we will have also we will have NA in a little bit after this EU tournament, so there will be some more action later on. But yeah, if you want to participate in these, if you want to be this VGA team that we get to praise so hard, you can bring your team in, bring your friends in by doing exclamation point invaders in the chat to access the Discord server. It's a lot of fun. I mean, we've already seen it. VGA just having fun today with their friends. And like you're saying, almost already secured their victory. Just 4 minutes. They got to wait until they will be officially crowned that winner.
Well, and we are gonna have the NA broadcast as well, and I will be present on that day. I'm commentating both events. I'm not sure who exactly demanded for that, and I'm not complaining either. But seriously, 2 events in a single weekend, damn, I'm that popular now.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad that people don't get to listen to what our producer has to say.
The people love you, Inflict. That's why they requested you specifically. So.
Ian, no, Ian, it's not the same case with you, man. I'm sorry. Nobody likes to hear you. No, I'm kidding. We just keep Ian exclusive to ourselves. He's that good. Sort of like an
But
OnlyFans.
yeah. 3 minutes left here. VGA already pretty much have security here. Just some banter around as we have some fun with this. But yeah, the NA is going to be a lot of fun. We'll maybe see if some of those teams, Nurk, Free TC, if they do show back up, if they can maybe perform in there. I mean, falling short a little bit today. I mean, we've talked about, you can't win you can't win them all. You can't win every single time. So they will have to reset, maybe rework what their plan is just a little bit and see if they can come back for NA and perform.
Yeah, and I guess then that's the only way probably going on. Monkey, they have been holding on for quite a long while now. And Oxpaha, they did get raided themselves earlier on, but they still have a couple of players lurking outside. Free TC, they've just set their foot here and there across the whole game. Nothing too overwhelming from their side. They have broken into the top 5 now, with Norek actually being beaten by them. But other than that, it seems like the dust is starting to settle with VGA in such a comfortable spot that it's pretty much it's pretty much, yeah, done. It's been done for the last 15 minutes as well, and the elimination of VJ was just a cherry on top by VGA.
They just did a good job all throughout the day. I mean, we saw them in the attack phase, just absolutely popping off, getting a lot of points there. And then, they slowed down for a little bit. That mid game was scary, especially to watch for me, because I definitely thought that they might have thrown it there because they had that advantage in the attack phase. They had all those points, but their raids were so clean. I mean, they went in, took a bunch of them. And like you were saying, they had the win in the bag, but just to put the cherry on top of that perfect ice cream sundae of a tournament for them, they go and eliminate VJ, and they pretty much cement their spot here as the champion for EU.
Well, not exactly sure what this player is looking for amidst the crisis. We saw a lot of people fall earlier. This one wanted to jump a bit extra high. Someone tell the man he's not in Olympics. Oh, found a ladder at least. But still doesn't have much area to cover, so won't be able to find much to work with.
He's in the Rust Olympics, obviously.
Oh. Rust Olympics?
Yes.
Oh, I'm good with making up names. Even though the names might be bad, I'm just good at coming up with them.
But yeah, approaching our final 30 seconds here. VGA, the job was so clean from them. They came out today, by the book was how they did it. Absolutely insane. The raids were clean. Their offense was clean, all from the beginning. But man, another monkey gonna be eliminated there. Oxpaha here in the final garbage time of this rating phase. We'll get a little moral victory, 70 points within VGA. Not too scary to catch up to them, but a great raid nonetheless. But VGA at the end of it, very successful. They will be your champions of EU.
Yeah, with only 6 teams. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Well, the difference between the score is quite obvious. VGA sitting at 495, while the team at the bottom, Dolbabus, at 163. The difference is of exactly 332 points. So yeah, it's absolutely massive. I'm surprised Oxpaha actually made it somewhat closer to that, to VGA as well, sitting at 425. But I'm sure the defense points definitely help in that matter. Popped up in the final 30 minutes with their PvP as well, constantly picking fights on different occasions with different third parties involved as well. But in the end, it all worked out for VGA Oxpaha. They had 230 kill points alone, 3 defenses, and 4 raids completed. So even with 4 TCs, I'm surprised they weren't as closer to VGA as VJ was.
And in the end, I think for VGA, the biggest thing for them was 6 raids completed in total. That was absolutely massive. I mean, 2 more than Oxpaha. The offense was absolutely superb. And we saw there 200 kills to only about 70 deaths. So overall, like a 3 KD for that team, just absolutely popping off. We saw them early taking kills, but those 6 raids going consistent with it is huge. Oxpaha, yeah, second place, though, not bad at all. More kills than VGA, a little bit worse KDA, though. And then, obviously, like you're saying, those raid defense points did help them out to jump them up to second.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe that puts the EU event for this weekend to a conclusion here. Congratulations to VGA for such a decisive victory. 6 raids, that is an absolutely humongous number, for raids completed as well. They even did one just for the sake of why not. They didn't even have to take VJ out, but it's always nice to have something sweet towards the end of things, whether it's dinner or a game. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it from my side. Any last words, Lama, that you may have?
I have again fantastic from VGA. It was a super awesome day for them, like you said, getting that really good raid at the end. But before we finish it off, I would obviously like to give a huge thanks to production and to all the staff members that set these up, the admins that run the tournaments. Could not do it without them. Amazing, amazing people behind the scenes that you don't see. Obviously, a huge thanks to Twitch chat. You guys are insane for coming out here, watching some amazing action here tonight. We will obviously have that NA production 2 p.m. Eastern, I do believe. Also, I would also like to mention the stream today is brought to you by Rusty Pot. So huge thanks to them. But again, if you want to participate in these exclamation point invaders to join that Discord server. But again, congratulations to VGA for winning the EU tournament here today. We will be back with NA later, but thank you all so much for watching from me and Inflict and everybody at Rustoria. Thank you so much, and we will see you all next time.
Bye bye.